Let's jump to this cultural story. This is an interesting one. We have this tweet. I saw this image from Icons Women. Hannah Ahrensman says, I have decided to end my cycling career. At my last race at the recent UCI Cyclocross National Championships in the elite women's category, I came in 4th place, flanked on either side by male riders, awarded 3rd and 5th places. My sister and family sobbed as they watched a man finish in front of me, having witnessed several physical interactions with him throughout the race. So this is the photo is the woman crying as she's quitting because she was denied the podium by a male athlete. There's another story where another male has won, I think, like 15 races.
Yeah.
Like 15 of 15 or some ridiculous
just
number.
Just one in New York, right?
Yeah, just won one in New York. And I feel bad for this woman, but I think she's doing the right thing in quitting. And I think all of these women need to quit and maybe make a new league, maybe make the female division or something.
It's a great example of the leader that steps out of the herd and says, this is insane, we need to stop doing this. And she's going to pay an insane price. She's giving up her dream and her career to do that. But I think the tide is turning. I think the insanity, people are starting to say, what are we doing here?
Well, we have a story here from Timcast.com. World Athletics Council bans biological male athletes from competing against females. Officials say the policy update is to protect the integrity of female athletics. So it's starting to happen. I mean, that's big, huh?
Yeah. I mean, especially this issue. I ran track in high school, so it's a sport I care a lot about. But there was a group of track athletes in Connecticut that were some of the first to file a lawsuit and say, you can't let biologically male athletes compete with us because it does take away our right to compete in a sport. Like, you are flying in the face of something that theoretically feminism fought for. And
those two males were not undergoing hormone therapy or anything like that. They were just males who were like, I want to compete against the females because I'm a woman. And they said, fine. Mm-hmm. And they kept winning every race and breaking records.
Yeah, and it's especially like on the high school level, it means that you don't show up on the rosters that college coaches get, so you miss out on scholarship opportunities. Like, if you are an elite athlete competing at that level, you can't expect a coach to look at the list and say, oh, well, these names all appear female to me, so why would I question this, right? And especially if we're supposed to treat biological men who identify as women the same way, then you are literally giving away spots on teams and educational dollars to them when these girls have trained for so long to get to that place. It seems like, to me, it seems like common sense, but I understand our culture has created a different narrative around this.
Well, I feel like, what Matt was saying, the insanity is starting to be pushed back against. I think we're starting to win on this front. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the United States can finally get its act together. There was a couple big moments. One was when Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks agreed with Bernie Sanders saying, we want equality of opportunity, not outcome. It's like, okay, welcome back to the mix. And then we have, I think I have the tweet right here, Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks tweeted, I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this-ish. And of course, she got ripped to shreds. The left went after her and started screaming at her and insulting her. They're calling them the Young Turfs now instead of the Young Turks. But I'm like, well, you know what? If the Young Turks are pushing back on the insanity gradually, I'll accept it. I will take it. And maybe we're going to start winning more ground in the culture war. That's a good thing.
Man, and talk about, this is another one I think that there's really no winning or losing. It's about, can we coexist? The victory is, can we all win? And when you see, Anna went on Ben Shapiro's show a month ago. I didn't know that. And they had a great conversation. It's fascinating to talk about Medicare for all. I mean, it's legit. And then I just saw Sam Cedar went on Valuetainment. So it's like people that you would consider from the left and the right are coming together to talk. I think a lot of it's because of this banking fiasco, the economy hitting its breaking point. People are like, what choice do I have at this point?
I think there have probably always been people who say, like, hey, this is something that we should not pursue. So because it's Women's History Month, I've been writing about anti-feminists, and this week I published a profile of Camille Paglia, which I'm definitely pronouncing her name wrong, but she is an academic at University of Arts in Philadelphia, and she gets this reputation of being, you're nodding your head, of being the anti-feminist feminist. She said, I was a feminist in the 1960s, and we fought for our rights to be free. We fought so that we wouldn't have to have curfews in college dorms. We could risk the right to be raped and attacked on campus because we wanted the right to take care of ourselves and not be in the protection of men or whatever else. And one of the things that she has gotten in trouble for in more recent years is saying, you guys should pay attention to biology. You guys seem really interested in science, except for when it applies to this issue. And she says, you can't, your biology says you can't just suddenly decide you're a different gender. And this has ousted her from the feminist community. I mean, she still identifies as a feminist, but feminists don't want her there, even though she's one of the most noted academics in this ideology. It's crazy.
She's the most legit feminist out there. And my wife and I have this fantastic argument, and I always lose arguments with my wife, but I consider myself a radical feminist, and I see the comments are going to freak out here. My wife considers herself an anti-feminist, because we both believe in really strong women that have the right to determine their own destiny. Mm-hmm. And that's what feminism used to be about. And, my childhood intellectual hero was a woman, Ayn Rand. She turned me on to a lot of these ideas. And she was a badass who fled the Soviet Union after her father's business was stolen when she was still a teenager. And she ended up in Hollywood as a scriptwriter. That's badass. And that's my sort of heroic view of what women can be. In modern feminism and all of this stuff we're talking about, it is so anti-feminist in every single way. And back to Anna for just a second, that's a heroic stand that she's taking, because she's taking on her own audience. Her own woke audience is trying to destroy her. And it's one thing for us to criticize it. My audience isn't going to get mad at me if I criticize wokeism, but she's got to deal with that.
Yeah, they're going to lose a lot of money for doing so.
That's a hero.
The Young Turks probably lost a lot of money by them coming out and saying this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. And I hope they lose more. Not because I want them to suffer or because I'm trying to be mean, but because they need to free themselves from the shackle of this cult. Mm-hmm. And if they no longer have any incentive to try and please these people, and it seems like they're already shaking that off, maybe they'll stop pushing a lot of that garbage.
Yeah.
So good for them.
I mean, what are the odds that she wants to jump ship anyways, right? Like, if she's going to take this stance, she must know that
Jenk's
she puts
defending
herself... Her. He is? Okay.
Yeah, outright defending her and saying she's never going to apologize for this.
Yeah.
And he agrees with her. So I do think the main issue with the Young Turks is that they're duplicitous. I can respect her making the statement, but they make fake videos about me and other people all the time. So it's not like I expect them to ever be good people or anything like that. But I'll give them credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
We need to make these gains in the culture war and take what we can get when we can get it. So, I don't know. I thought the Young Turfs was really funny.
It is funny.
That is funny.
I like your...
It's less offensive than the Young Turks. Like, they named their organization after the Armenian genocide.
It's crazy.
Enver Pasha.
I like your take about being an extreme feminist. I always say that my dad is the biggest feminist I know. He's constantly telling me I can do things and that I'm capable. I don't like it. It's the worst. No, but I'm being serious. I feel like there are so many conservative men that I know who are advocates for strong, capable women, and they believe that women are completely capable. It's the victim mentality that has crept into this modern iteration of feminism that I just can't get behind. I don't understand why it would be appealing to anyone.
I also just hate giving up words that are packed with meaning and value, and we always find ourselves like attacking the word justice or attacking the word democracy or attacking the word community because it's been co-opted to mean something that it doesn't mean. And I think we should be feminists because we're pro-women. Yeah, and just define what you mean, and don't let the bastards steal our language from us.
We're in the fourth wave of feminism, the word, but the word has different meanings in every wave. Yeah. The second wave of feminism is the one you're talking about. That's the one I was raised with. My mom, I was like, as a very young kid, I asked my mom, does feminism mean that women are better than men? She said, no, feminism means that men and women are equal. And that was all I needed. After it changed my life, I just was like, oh, okay, I get it.
So right now,
it didn't make sense, but I got it.
If you ask a trans activist, they will use the phrase cis woman. But they say trans women are women, so just say woman. Cis women, however, are cis women. You see what they're doing?
Yeah.
They are taking the normative term woman, applying it to themselves, and then making cis women the outlier, the other.
The reality is, if you're a man and you want to transition to a woman, you can be a trans woman and you're still a man. You never stop being a human. You're still a human. Like, you don't end one to become the other. You become both. So it's very important to realize that women are women, and they can also be trans men and women at the same time.
Well, trans woman is a subcategory of male.
Exactly. So you're a man and a trans woman, or you can be a woman and a trans man, but you don't like lose one when you try and like transit. You're still the same. You're still a human. You never stop being a man. You never stop being a human. You're still, even if you identify as a shoe, you're still a human.
But this is like where the concept of dead naming comes in, right? Like if someone says, now that I have accepted this identity and I believe I'm supposed to be like this, you should never refer to me and even reference, I don't want to see pictures of this person I was before. I mean, they do feel as though they can completely leave behind, this part of themselves. And
they can do whatever they want, and I'll do whatever I want.
But the whole, this is who I was before, it's still now. You're still you. You are different, and you're still you. It doesn't, it's, I don't know. It's not like you're no longer what you were. You're still that and more now. So
But Tim's point is we're not giving up the word woman. That's our word. We know what that means.
That's our word. You can't say it.
Yeah.
Well, no, cis, het, cis, they're slurs. If they're going to make the argument that trans women are women, then I'll make the same argument and say that you can't say cis woman. That's derogatory in the same way you claim it is. So your own logic negates your right to do so. That being said, I mean, trans woman, it defines something. It is a biological male who identifies as female. There you go. End of story. You can't then say you are a woman. Well, you're a trans woman. There's a qualifier for that because you are different from woman.
Yeah, you can't be a trans woman if you're a woman. You
Right.
have to be a man to be a trans woman.
Yes. Yeah. And you have to be a woman to be a trans man. So they're playing with definitions, I think, for legal reasons. Because if they can get the culture to start arguing that woman includes males, it changes civil rights law. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.